Welcome, everyone, this morning to our High Five Live broadcast. So glad that you're here. It's a wonderful morning, and so thankful that our wonderful guest is here. Miya, you are going to love this woman. She is
amazing,
amazing.
and we feel so privileged to have her. She's a very busy lady, but she worked us in today, and I just want to start by telling you a little bit about her. But first, we would invite you, as our viewers, to let us know where you're from, and just put that in the comments. Also, any questions that you have. High Five Live, we love to see who's viewing and who's enjoying our broadcasts. So, yeah, let us know.
So fun. So we could take a long time with this bio, but we're going to try to make it short so we can actually hear from Miya.
That's right.
So let's give you a little summary of her wonderful life.
So her long name is Miyamoto Loretta Jensen, right?
Yes.
There are probably more syllables in there somewhere. But
Yeah.
But yeah, Hawaii is she's from there, and she's the oldest child of Joe and Melissa Wilson. So this lady is Hawaiian, but she'll talk more about all the other parts of her countries, ethnic groups, all this that she is. She's a great mix.
Yes.
So she graduated from you say it.
Kamehameha.
Sure.
Oh,
Kamehameha School.
The Kamehameha School. All right.
Yes.
Where she gained a deep understanding and appreciation for her Hawaiian culture. Then in 2018, she was the first to graduate from BYU's Family History program with an emphasis on Polynesian research. That to me is just incredible. Way to go get it.
That's
Yes.
right.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Since graduating, she's grown her sphere of influence by sharing content on social media. And at the end, don't let us forget to have her share with us where you can find her on social media.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. I'm everywhere.
She's now a content strategist for the Pacific at Family Search. And this is pretty new, right?
Yes. Brand new position.
That is so awesome. That
So
is
exciting.
That is no small thing. So she lives in Provo with her husband and their son, who is 4 years old, 5 years old,
5.
Five. Mm-hmm.
and 2 cats.
Yes. The 2 crazy cats.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
since you like culture so much, I guess you're going to do a little Hawaiian dancing for us as part of our little broadcast, right?
Oh, I probably shouldn't. I'm not as good as I used to be. All my other cousins are good. Maybe you should have them come on here
We'll
and
think
perform
about
for
that.
us. Yeah.
You
For
can't get through
sure.
Kamehameha High School without Polynesian
Yes.
dancing, right?
That's so
A
awesome.
lot of that.
Yes.
Mia.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
we all have a great love for this wonderful culture. We were talking about it before we came on the air and have a lot of experience with that. But I am deeply touched by how you got involved in this. Of course, like we've said, we knew your grandmother very well
Yeah.
and others,
Yes.
but so fun to hear about how you finally got this passion going and what it did for you in your personal life. Would you share
Yeah.
with us?
Of course. I'd love to. So I have always loved hearing stories about my family as a child. And I grew up around my grandma Teresa, and she would often tell me stories about her grandmother and our ancestors together. And so I was impressed by that at a very young age. And then when I was called to serve a full time mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter day Saints, I was called to Japan, the Japan Tokyo mission. And my background includes Hawaiian, Samoan, Japanese, German, and French. And so,
There you go. See, I
yeah,
told
there
you.
you go. So I wanted to go anywhere in the world my ancestors were from. And God answered my prayers. And so I went to Japan, and it was such a powerful experience being there, walking in an ancestral homeland, speaking the language of my ancestors, and just falling in love with the people and the culture there even more. And so, but what happened was when I was a missionary, um, you know, anybody who knows about missionary work, there is a lot of joy behind it, but it was also a very difficult time. There is a lot of work that's involved with being a missionary. And, I struggled with depression and anxiety on my mission. And so, to the point where it got very hard for me to be a full time missionary. So, I decided that I needed to go home to take care of myself. And so I left my mission at about 7.5 months, which, if you understand the length that sisters or young women serve a mission, it's usually about 18 months. And so when I went home, um, I was struggling with shame as well.
Mm.
But what
It's
I
hard.
decided to do, it was hard, yeah, because there has been a culture that if someone comes home early, that there must have been something that they did wrong or something that was they couldn't handle it. There's all these perceptions, and so I was struggling with that a lot. But I went to the temple, the Laie Hawaii temple, every day for a month
Oh,
to find the peace that I was looking for and to really understand what I needed to do with my life. I was going to therapy, thankfully, and I was around a very strong support system with my family and my parents. But I remember when I was going to the temple that my grandma Teresa, who was living on the Big Island at that time, she came to Laie to visit and to see me and to spend time with our family as well. And so, but I remember being in the temple and seeing people doing temple work for their ancestors, and I just felt very impressed to I needed to learn how to do this because I wanted to find my ancestors and have these kinds of spiritual experiences that other people were having. And so I called my grandma, who was living with her, who was staying with her sister Napua Baker in Laie, right? And I was like, Grandma, are you free right now? And she said, let me guess, you want to learn how to do family history work. And I hadn't said, I
I
know,
love
I
it.
hadn't said anything at all, but she was like,
Grandmas
you
just
want to
know.
learn? Yeah, she was so in tune. And I was just like, yeah, actually, how did you know? She's like, okay, meet me at the Family History Center in 1 hour. And so I dropped everything and she dropped everything. And we met at the Laie Hawaii Temple Visitor Center, where they
Mm.
have a family history center there too. And so we walked in and she sat me down and she was like, okay, let's open up your family search account. And when we did, she pulled up the family tree and she said, this is family search and this is your family tree. And then she showed me how to find names of my ancestors to take to the temple, how to do some research on records, how to merge duplicates. And like she went through all these steps with me and I was floored. I just like was like, this is amazing, Grandma. Oh my goodness.
This is the best
It was
ever.
the best. Yeah. And ever since then, she really just like it just roped me into family history work. And I decided after learning family history from my grandma that I was gonna just keep doing it because I loved it. I was like addicted, right? And um so that was around February 2014. No, sorry, 2000 what? Yeah, 2014. And later that year in the fall 2014, I went back to BYU here in Provo, Utah to go to school. I was originally majoring in piano performance, but then I was like, maybe
wow.
I should, yeah, I was like, maybe I should think about family
That is
history.
quite a switch.
Yeah, yeah, it was a huge switch, right? But I, I music will always be part of me, but I just felt like with my identity and my personality and this call that I have to the work
Yeah,
in family history, that I was like, family history is the answer. And so, um, fortunately, BYU is the only accredited university in the world that has family history as a major, so a bachelor's program. So I switched to it and I met with the director of the program, Dr. Amy Harris. And I was like, listen, I kind of want to do Polynesian family history work. And she was like, we don't have any classes on that, but we will gladly support you. And so I mean, they were amazing. They helped to cater my classes to me, got me the right internships. But all in all, like as amazing that all of that was, I think the biggest miracle for me is the testimony I received from the healing side of doing family history work. Because when I turned to my ancestors, when I learned about their lives, when I performed this loving service for them, I I received so much healing that I didn't realize that I needed. And I
Mm.
still receive that healing in my life, and it's something that I will preach about till even after I die. I'm going to keep talking about it
Oh, I'm
because
sure.
yeah, oh yeah, because I know when God talks about when you're in the service of your fellow beings, you're in the service of your God. It's true because when you serve your ancestors, we're serving the Lord as well. And God always keeps his promises. He is always there to bless us. And I know too that when you lose yourself when you find yourself by doing your family history work, it's possible to lose yourself to serve and to love other people and love God more than you ever have before. And that's where the real power comes in. And so, and families aren't perfect. And there's a lot that, people experience a lot of shame and trauma in their family history. And evident, for example, like when it comes to slavery, either the descendants of the enslaved struggle and are still going through the consequences of slavery that have happened in the past. But then also those who were descendants of the enslavers, they experience a lot of shame and trauma from that too. And so, how can we heal? There's multiple ways to do that, but I truly believe in learning your history, learning about where you come from, and where your family was and what they did or didn't do can help you to have more empathy, more love for yourself, for your family, for your neighbors, and especially for strangers, for people all over the world. And that kind of love will bring the healing that we all desperately need.
And do
So,
we need that so much? When Elder Renlund
yeah.
said, it will heal those things that need to be healed. I
Yes.
don't think we realize how absolutely complete that is. And
Yeah.
that this process from those beyond the veil, as we serve them and they reach out to us, it's just such a unifying, beautiful thing. And does our world need a little unity?
Yeah.
A little
Yes.
empathy? Yeah, this is
Yes.
the perfect solution.
So, do you want to
Exactly.
share with us then? I love this. Thank you so much, Mia, and we are
Yeah.
on that page with you
Yeah,
so much.
she's
Thank
like that too.
you.
Got so passionate and
I know
Yes.
got her
you can
certification
hardly
in
sleep
family
at
history
night,
and
right? Oh, but I
Yeah.
don't have the reach. Oh my goodness, with your new job at Family Search and
Thank
your
you.
passion for helping people in a wide area. I mean, you
Mhm.
have this, what is it, 4 point, or let's see,
over 3 million
yeah, it's
miles of territory.
3,450,000. We looked it up.
Yes.
Oceania, which is all of Polynesia and
And
all of
Central,
Australia and all
yeah,
of it's just huge.
Hmm.
Pacific.
And that's your responsibility now.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I'm sure it's easy to get overwhelmed, but you have broken it down. You have projects that you're working on. Do you want to share just a few of those exciting things that are in your heart?
Sure. Yeah. So at Family Search, we like was mentioned. So I'm a content strategist. My role is specifically to identify the best records that people can use to find their ancestors and to establish their relationships.
Hmm.
So, a lot of the projects that I'm involved in are helping to find those records for all of Oceania. So yeah, it's not just Polynesia,
It's a
it's
lot of your
Melanesia
children.
and Micronesia. Yeah,
Oh my
like it's
goodness.
it's everywhere. And
Mhm.
so um one project that I have been involved in is just learning more about the oral genealogies of the entire Pacific and
Mm.
understanding the nature of them, the history behind them, and also where are those oral genealogies and are they still being practiced today. And so that has been one of the most exciting projects that I've worked on because
Mm.
it's given me so much more knowledge and power to know, like, and also better understand when you know these things about the people, then you can better serve them. And so
Absolutely.
yeah, that's probably like my favorite project right now. There's a bunch of others, but I gotta keep my lips sealed for them. But when they come out,
That's
I'll make sure to
exciting.
tell you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
whole idea of oral genealogy
Mhm.
as well as oral
Mhm.
histories, I mean,
Yeah.
especially the people in the South Seas are so great at telling stories. I mean, you
Yes.
can sit for hours and listen to them tell magnificent stories, mostly about the past.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
somehow to record that, right?
So,
Yeah.
Cal, what is one of your favorite stories that that has been passed down or that's been told to you personally?
Yeah. So probably one of my favorite stories is about my grandparents. So Teresa and Bruce, how they met. Um, they knew each other when they went to the Church College of Hawaii, which is now BYU Hawaii in
Right.
Laie. And like they kind of knew of each other. My grandpa was dating someone else at the time, but after he came home from his mission, my grandma was actually asked by her grandmother Emma to go to Molokai Island for a conference for like young adults or youth. And she's like, sure, I'll take my sister and my friend and we'll go together. So they went to Molokai. And my grandma described it as when she saw my grandpa in the gymnasium, like it was just kind of like sparks
What?
for her. Yeah, it was just like, oh my gosh, like there's Bruce, and they obviously had this common attraction to each other, and it was mutual, and they danced together there, and they went back to BYU Hawaii, and it was a matter of like 3 months that after that moment they were married. Like it was just like when they knew,
They knew. I love
they
it.
knew, and they just went for it, and we have some pictures from their wedding and from after
Oh,
their honeymoon. And I mean, they were so in love, and they still were so in love even after my grandpa passed away when my mom was only 7. He was like
mm,
37, I believe, when he passed away. And so my
Mhm.
grandma was a single mom for a while, but I mean,
wow.
those stories that she has of raising her children, doing what she had to do. She, as a single mom, she packed up her kids and brought them to Utah after grandpa
Mm,
passed away. She got her master's degree here in, I think it was education administration, I believe. I can't remember the exact name, but I mean, she was a powerhouse. She went back to Laie and she helped to run conferences and workshops at BYU Hawaii, where you met her.
yes.
And she also I mean, she helped out with HRI in Laie, and which is the Hawaii Reserves Incorporated that helps to beautify and take care of Laie. She spearheaded a lot of those projects, and I mean, those are just stories that I've heard, but like the way they were told through the spoken word and other stories that I know about my ancestors are so powerful. And there's just something different about hearing the story rather than just reading them, right? There's just so much power behind it,
Hmm.
and that's a tradition that I'm so thankful that still exists today in Oceania. So yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just think of Teresa sitting next to you at that Family History Center. And
Yeah.
not
Just being
only
so
do you
happy.
know about her love of her ancestors, but
Mm,
to know that she had enough courage and faith to press forward and get that master's
Mm,
degree and handle being a
yeah.
single mom in your moment where you were having to face struggles too. Just being with
Mhm.
her would give you a lot of strength
yes,
and
Oh
the
absolutely.
yes.
legacy that she lived. Wow.
Yes, exactly. She is she's the matriarch that our family has relied on and loved for so long. And because I know my family history, she's the fifth generation of matriarchs in our family to have been
Whoa.
leaders in our family and in the church. Yeah. So
Oh,
she we hope to carry that legacy, right? That's
Here
all
and
I
you
could ever
are.
hope for.
you are
Oh,
a miracle. You are a fulfillment of prophecy, really.
Can you hear
thank
them
you.
cheering on the other side?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Thank you.
and to have her now be an ancestor, you
Yeah.
know, and to know that she is so close, like you said, you feel her.
Mhm.
It's just like in the movie Moana, right? What's the word
Yes.
that there is nowhere you can go that I
I
won't be
will
with
be with
you?
you.
Her grandmother told her, and we have a testimony of that. And
Yes.
obviously you do. And that pulls you through, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. It always has and it always will. And I just want to testify that, as much as I wish my grandma was with me, like you were saying though, from the movie Moana, when Grandma Tala told Moana before she left to go on her journey that there was nowhere that she could go that her grandma wouldn't be with her. I testify that that's true through our ancestors as well. But most importantly, I hope that we all understand that as we turn to our ancestors and we look to their lives and to their past, more importantly, I hope that it'll not only turn our hearts to them and them to us, but collectively we can all turn our hearts upward to God because his heart is always turned to us. And I testify that when our hearts turn, that's when the real and true healing is available. It's like we unlock these powers of goodness and hope and light that has always been available to us. And it's through the atonement of Jesus Christ that all of these things are possible. And so I just want to testify of that. And I thank you all for this time. And I say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thank you so
Thanks,
much,
Miya.
Mia, for being with us today and for sharing
Thank
that
you.
testimony and your love of family history and encouraging others to get involved.
And the reality of the beautiful influence of those from the other side. They certainly are the angels that bless us constantly. And we feel that too.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Thank
do.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Thank
day.
you.
Please share this with others.
Yes, share this beautiful message that she has given us today. And thank you, High Five Live, for providing
And
this
where do we find
opportunity.
her other
Oh, yes.
social media?
So tell us about your social media sites.
Yeah.
And platforms.
Of course, yes. So everybody, if you want to learn more about Polynesian family history, how to get started, what other methodologies or things you can learn, you can always follow me on Facebook and Instagram at the Polynesian Genealogist, or you can just look up my name and you'll find me there. And I'm also on Twitter at Miya Jensen, and I also have a TikTok under the Polynesian Genealogist. So hit me up on all those platforms. So
fantastic.
yeah.
Lots of places, because she is doing so much good for so many,
Oh,
and we are
thank
just
you.
astounded and grateful.
Inspires all of us.
Yes.
Thanks, Miya, so
Thank
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a great
everyone.
day.
Have a great day.